Welcome to the Explainer. All right, today we are pulling back the curtain on artificial intelligence. We're going to start with a really big picture and then drill all the way down to the amazing tech that powers stuff like ChatGPT. So, you might be thinking AI is all, sci-fi movies and robots, but the truth is, it's already running your life. Seriously, it's woven into just about everything you do, and a lot of the time, you probably don't even realize it. I mean, just think about it for a second. That phone you unlocked with your face, yep, that's AI. How about Netflix knowing exactly what show you're going to binge watch next? AI again. Or Google Maps magically finding that shortcut to dodge a traffic jam? You guessed it. It's basically this invisible engine that's powering our entire modern world. Okay, so what is AI, really? I mean, for real. It's not just one thing. The best way I found to think about it is like a family tree. Or maybe even better, like one of those Russian nesting dolls, where each concept fits neatly inside the next. So at the very top, you've got the big one, artificial intelligence. This is the huge catch-all term for any time we get a computer to do something that would normally require human intelligence. Things like, recognizing a pattern, understanding what you're saying, or looking at an image and figuring out what's in it. And right here, this is a super important point. Not all AI actually learns. Some of it, what we call rule-based AI, just follows a really strict set of if this, then that instructions that a human programs. But the really powerful stuff, the AI that's all over the news, that's machine learning. And it doesn't just follow rules, it actually discovers the rules all on its own by looking at data. So let's go back to those nesting dolls. Artificial intelligence, that's the biggest doll on the outside, the one that holds everything else. Okay, so you pop that one open. And what's inside? Machine learning. This is easily the most important part of AI today. This is where all the real magic of learning actually happens. And we go deeper. Inside machine learning, you'll find deep learning. Now, this is where things get really cool. Deep learning uses these super complex structures called neural networks, which are basically inspired by our own brains, to find really subtle patterns in all kinds of messy, real-world stuff, like pictures or audio or even just plain text. And then finally, right at the very core, the smallest doll, we find generative AI. This is a special kind of deep learning that doesn't just analyze or predict stuff, it actually creates brand new things from scratch. And yep, this is the tech behind ChatGPT. Okay, so we keep using this phrase, learn from data. But what does that really mean? Like, how is that any different from a regular old computer program? Well, this is the big, game-changing idea. With normal programming, a human gives the computer the data and the rules, and the computer gives you back the answers. Simple enough. But with machine learning, we totally flip that script. We give the computer the data and the answers, and we tell it, you figure out the rules. So you see, it's really a two-step dance. First, the machine learns the patterns from all the data we feed it. Then, once it's learned, it uses those patterns to make predictions about totally new stuff it's never ever seen before. Okay, let's make this real. Imagine a bank. For step one, the training part, you feed the AI thousands and thousands of old loan applications. You give it all the info, income, credit score, and you also tell it the final result. Was it approved or rejected? The AI just chews on all that data, looking for patterns. Then comes step two, prediction. You give it a brand new application, and now, using the patterns it just learned, it makes a prediction, approve or reject. Okay, that whole loan example works great when your data is neat and tidy, right? Like numbers in a spreadsheet. But what about the messy stuff, the unstructured data of the real world? I'm talking about photos, sounds, just the way we talk. Yeah, this is where that basic machine learning starts to hit a wall. To really get the nuance, the sheer complexity of our world, you need something with a bit more firepower. And that's where deep learning and its artificial brains come into play. So deep learning runs on these things called neural networks. And just like the name sounds, they're computer systems that are sort of modeled after the way the neurons in our own brains are all connected, processing information layer by layer. So how does one of these things actually think? Well, here's a pretty good analogy. Think about calculating a final grade for a student. You have inputs, like exam scores, right? And each one has a different weight. The final exam is worth more than a pop quiz. A neural network does something similar. It takes in data, assigns a bunch of these weights to different parts of it, and then makes a guess. If the guess is wrong, no big deal. It just goes back, tweaks those weights a little, and tries again. And it does this over and over and over millions of times until its guesses get ridiculously accurate. And all of that, it brings us right back to that final, tiny nesting doll in the center. The one that, let's be honest, is the reason we're all talking about this. Generative AI. See, pretty much all the AI we've covered up to this point is about analyzing stuff or making predictions. Generative AI is a whole different beast. It's built on top of deep learning, for sure, but its whole job is to create, to make totally original content, new text, new images, even new video that has never existed before. And of course, these are the names you've been seeing pop up everywhere. You've got your GPTs for text, Midjourney and DALL-E for images, Sora and Runway for video. They are all powered by this amazing generative tech. They really are the core of that nesting doll we've been unpacking. So let's just recap for a second. We went from AI that just followed our instructions to AI that could figure out the instructions for itself. And now we have AI that can create things out of thin air. It's gone from being just a tool to something more like a creative partner. And that leaves us with a really, really big question to think about. Now that machines can both learn and create, what does that mean it is to be human?